Hi everyone, welcome to the Knitting Turnpike. Today I'm going to show you how to do a pattern for our Christmas knitting series. I did a video about a week ago, might be longer depending on when this video is being posted, but it was telling you about Christmas knitting, talking about Christmas knitting, discussing do you knit gifts for your friends and family for Christmas, and talking a little bit about some simple patterns that you could use for knitting. Had a few ideas in there, and what I said I was going to do is do some stitch patterns to go along with my ideas, and this is going to be a series, my Christmas knitting series. This is going to be bad. On the first day of Knitmas, Knitting Turnpike showed me how to knit the texture stitch. On the second day of Knitmas, Knitting Turnpike showed me knotted open work lace and how to knit the textured stitch. On the third day of Knitmas, Knitting Turnpike showed me double eyelet rib, knotted open work lace, and how to knit the textured stitch. On the fourth day of Knitmas, Knitting Turnpike showed me stockinette stitch ridge, double eyelet rib, knotted open work lace, and how to knit the texture stitch. On the fifth day of Knitmas, Knitting Turnpike showed me horizontal herringbone, stockinette stitch ridge, double eyelet rib, knotted open work lace, and how to knit the textured stitch. Hi everyone. I'm going to be showing you the next stitch in my Christmas knitting series, where you can adapt these stitches to making a scarf, a stole, or a cowl. This next stitch I absolutely love. I have never ever knitted a herringbone stitch before. I always thought they were really cool, but I've never knitted one before because I've heard they were hard, so I've kind of delayed it. But this, I saw this and I thought it looked cool. This is the horizontal herringbone stitch, and I absolutely love it. I think it's probably going to be my new favorite stitch, and I think I might end up making one of these for me. That's how much I love this pattern. It's just so cool. I love it. Anyway, to do this stitch, it is a two row stitch pattern, so really easy to memorize. You can just, take this wherever you want to go, so that's awesome. You don't have to worry about trying to carry a pattern with you as well. You can just do this while you're waiting for things, waiting for appointments, the hairdresser, all kinds of places. This would also make a really great blanket. Get a nice chunky yarn. Oh, that'd be awesome. All right, this stitch pattern is done in multiples of 2. So when you cast on, make sure it's a multiple of 2. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 22. I did 22 stitches for my cast on. For row 1, on the right side, first thing you're going to do is you're going to knit the first stitch. Then you're going to start the part where you're going to be doing repeats. So you're going to slip the first stitch as if you're going to knit it, knit the next stitch, and pass the slip stitch over. I have a video for this. This is called the SKP stitch, and I'll put a link above. However, before you take, usually you take the slip stitch all the way off the needle and drop it. But in this case, you're going to take before you drop that, you're going to pull the slip stitch over, and before you drop it off the left hand needle, you're going to knit it through the back loop, just like that, and then you'll drop it off. So it ends up looking like that. You have your knit stitch, and then you have your slip stitch, which you knit through the back loop. Alright, we'll do it again, because we're going to be repeating that until you get to the last stitch. So slip the first stitch, knit it, go to pass the slip stitch over, but don't drop it off the left hand needle, just knit it through the back loop and then drop it off. Slip, knit, pass the slip stitch over, but knit it through the back loop before you drop it off the left hand needle. Slip, knit, pass the slip stitch over, knit it through the back loop before you drop it through the left hand needle. Drop it off the left hand needle. Slip, knit, pass the slip stitch over, but knit it through the back loop before you drop it off the left hand needle. Alright, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me a lot with the YouTube algorithms. Also, if you like this series, please give me a comment below. Let me know if you've enjoyed this. If you're going to be making any of the patterns into a Christmas gift, I would love to know. I'd love to know what you're going to be making and which pattern you're going to be using. If you have any questions or comments about any of these patterns, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment below. I'd love to help you if you have a question, if something I said isn't clear. I'd love to have the chance to clarify it. And lastly, I would love for you to subscribe to my channel and go with me on my knitting journey. It's going to hopefully take me all kinds of places next year, like in sweaters and to socks. So I would love for you to join me. Alright, knit that slip stitch over to the back loop, through the back loop. Now we're to the last stitch. In the last stitch, you're going to just knit it. Alright, that was the first row. Now you're going to do the second row, and that's the second and last row, and then you're just going to repeat those two rows over and over again. Alright, for row 2, you're going to purl two together. I have a video on how to purl two together as well. I'll put a link to that above. Let me get underneath this. It works a little bit better. So purl two together. And before you pull these two stitches that you've just purled two together off the left hand needle, you're going to stick your right hand needle back through that first stitch and purl it again. Just like that. And then you're going to drop both of those stitches off the left hand needle together. Okay, we're going to repeat that over and over again until you get to the end of the row. So you're going to purl two together. Alright, and before you drop those stitches off the left hand needle, you go back into the first stitch, purl it again, and then drop both of those stitches off the left hand needle. So purl two together, purl the first stitch only, drop them both off the left hand needle. Purl two together, purl the first stitch, drop them off the left hand needle. Purl two together, purl the first stitch, drop them off the left hand needle. Purl two together, purl the first stitch, oops, drop them both off the left hand needle. And you can see there are two stitches there. They're really close together, but when you pull them, there are two. And it just feels a little weird, but you will get the hang of it, especially the more you do it. You just get a rhythm going. And it'll be one of those stitches you don't even have to think about doing. But at first it's like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? but it just gets easier and easier the more you do it. Okay, last 2 stitches. Purl that first stitch, drop them off the left hand needle, and you're done. And now that's the stitch pattern. You repeat those 2 rows over and over again, and that's what it turns out to look like. Isn't that just really interesting and cool? Here, let me get up closer so you guys can see the design. It's just, I love this design, the horizontal herringbone. I think it just makes a great blanket, scarf, cowl, anything. Anyway, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. Let me know which stitch pattern that I've done that you like the best. Thank you again. Have a lovely day.